Comparing functions less than 13 notes. Example number 6. Find the x-intercept for each of the following equations. Well, let's look at all of these equations. What do they all have in common? They are all solved for y, which means all of the equations are in slope-intercept form. We want to find the x-intercept of each of these equations. Well, what do all x-intercepts have in common? What do we know about all x-intercepts? In order for it to be an x-intercept, y must be 0. So write that down. So if y is 0, we're going to replace the y with a 0. So let's look at A. If I replace y with 0, I have 0 equals 1/3 x plus 2. And now I'm going to solve for the x. Using my inverse operations, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. We've solved equations all year, so this is nothing new. We've got -2 equals 1/3 x. Actually, I'm going to move that over a little bit. Now, this is going to have to dig back in your memory. When we have a fraction, can't divide by fractions, you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, 3/1. That allows me to cancel that. I'm going to have x equals, well, 3/1, which is just 3. 3 times -2 would be -6. Now, I'm not quite done though. I want to put this in an ordered pair. I want to write an ordered pair. Well, x is -6, and what do we know y is? Y is 0. X is -6, and y is 0. So our ordered pair would be -6, 0. For B, again, replace the y with 0. And we're going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So I'm going to have -8 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. -8 divided by 4 is -2. So what is the ordered pair for this equation? -2, 0. For C, for C, I'm going to replace the y with 0. So I'm going to have 0 equals 8x minus 4. Box my x term. Use the inverse operation to get rid of the 4 first. Since it's -4, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. That will give me 4 equals 8x. And be careful here, you want to get rid of the number with the variable because we want to isolate the variable. So that means even though it's the larger number, I'm going to divide both sides by 8. If you would divide both sides by 8, you have this fraction here, so the refraction will reduce to 1/2. So x equals 1/2. What is the ordered pair? 1/2, 0. All right, for D, again, I'm replacing y with 0. Well, notice there's not a constant added or subtracted on the end. So I don't need to worry about boxing the variable term. I can go directly to isolating the variable, which means I'm going to divide both sides by 22. Don't make this problem any harder than what it is, because it's not hard at all. 0 divided by anything is 0, which means y is 0 and x is 0. Y is 0 and x is 0. Well, if they are both 0, what do we have? The origin. Right. Pause your video. Make sure you have all of that written down. That is it for comparing function notes. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. If you have any questions about any part of the notes, I'd be happy to help.